Welcome to my channel everyone. In this video we are going to talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. Also in 50 minutes Jerome Powell is going to release the rate cuts and is also going to have a speech afterwards. So it's going to get very exciting today and also a very important information. So first of all, forget mexc for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm still in my short positions, and that's why I'm not going to use stop losses. I'm going to use forced liquidation. Why am I doing it and how do I do it? So first of all, why? If a rate cut comes, and we are talking here not about the 0.25%, which is forecasted, I'm talking about a rate cut of 0.5%, then the market is, in my opinion, going to be very bullish. And we are going to see many liquidations for short positions. So within a few seconds or minutes, the price can pump up in 2-digit percentages. So basically, if I set a stop loss, my stop loss order might not get fulfilled where I wanted it to get hit. Means if the market is too fast, then my stop loss might not get hit at this price. It can move to the upside. And then I'm going to lose a huge amount of money, which I wasn't ready to lose before. The other case is that I'm still not using stop loss orders and I want to watch the charts and I want to use the close all button. It will be too slowly. I will be too slow to close my positions in the right time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the money from my futures account into my spot account. My short positions are all in profits right now, so that's why I can do it. What is going to happen is, if we get 0.5% rate cut, yeah, it's unlikely to happen, but it can still happen. And if the market pumps up fast, then I rather get liquidate, because there I say with 100% I'm ready to lose, for example, a couple of $100. And this is what I'm ready to lose, plus my unrealized profit. So I'm going to lose my unrealized profits and a small amount of my initial capital. If I get liquidated, then I'm not going to lose more than that. If I had stop losses, then it might be possible that I even going to lose double of that amount. So if this is going to be the case, mexc has to pay the difference between my liquidation price to the real price where my short positions got closed. So if there is a dollar difference, mexc has to pay it from an insurance account. The crypto exchanges have that for those kind of cases. So also mexc, 100 tokens, 0 fees. So you always see altcoins and also sometimes Bitcoin, Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum is also an altcoin, but I'm not counting that as altcoin anymore. The coins are rotating and you can trade them without any kind of fees. And for the other coins, you have to pay 0.04%. If you want to save there 20%, then feel free to use my referral link, which you can find in the video description, because that's going to give you 20% discount. So we talked a lot. What about SUI? So for SUI, we have said that the chance is very high that we should see the $3.65 or even get a bit higher, $3.70, but from there we should sell off. So far, we sold off from the $3.65. So basically, we have to see just a 0.5% rate cut is going to invalidate my bearish chart patterns. If not, if we are just going to get a 0.25% rate cut and also not the best speech from Jerome Powell, best means for the economy the best, so he's not going to talk that good about the economy, then we still have to keep our target in mind, $3.30 to $3.36. And we have a chart pattern which is directing us near to the support box, $3.37. So this is going to be my target once we lose it. Then we have to see $3.08 is going to get in play. Once we lose the $3.08 as well to the downside, then we should see far lower prices. I would even say $2.50 is realistic for SUI, because there is a huge fair value gap. We also have to say that in the next days, as long as we don't get some bullish upside potential because of rate cuts, I think that the whole up movement is done. So this looks like to me that this is the top, which we have also predicted pretty good, and that we are in a more bigger movement to the downside before the altcoin season is going to happen for SUI. Yeah, we are currently in the altcoin season. Just look into BNB, Hypecoin, Ethereum also made a new all-time high. It just needs time until the money goes from the large cap into the smaller large caps, and from the smaller large caps into the mid caps. So I would change my analysis to bullish for sure. This is not going to happen within a few hours unless we get some positive rate cuts. Once we break the $3.75 to the upside. Once we do, then I think all the bearish chart patterns, or my bearishness, which I have for SUI, is completely gone. And yeah, afterwards, good chance that we are going to see the $3.88 again. Once the $3.88 breaks to the upside, $4.25 is going to get very interesting. But this is not my preferred scenario right now. If we now look over Avalanche, Avalanche did nothing beside, the continuing developing this possible double top pattern. So to trade it, if I want to trade the breakout, I have to wait for $28.25. Once they break to the downside, $25.50 are going to get the target. I would even say $25.15, which is old support. We are currently in our Avalanche short trade. Why? Because we took the USDT dominance and the Bitcoin dominance as our indicator. So basically we took short trades based on that. But we distributed our money into several coins, so we have some kind of an index. This double top pattern can also develop. Yeah, don't expect that the price is going to drop like this. Yeah, we are not on the one-way street here on the exchange. It's always going up and down. So it looks like to me that we can form a head and shoulders formation with two heads. Afterwards, $28.25. From here, a bounce. And then sell off. Also, not in one go, but this can happen. The target is still the same. It's going to be the length of the head. So basically $25.50, $26.91. Here's the red trend line. This is a support which I would use to increase my position size for short trades once we break it to the downside. Same as the $28.25. So what about HBAR? We have said about HBAR, head and shoulders formatation. This is the bigger one. We also have said head and shoulders formatation. This is a smaller one. And this right here looks to me like a far bigger head and shoulders formatation. The right shoulder was formed as a bear flag. This bear flag broke to the downside right here. Broke to the downside, got its retest. Target right now is the 23 cents. There we have support. There I expect at least a very small bounce before we break it to the downside. Target of the bear flag and target of an old head and shoulders formation, which I have drew before, is currently the 22.3 cents to 22.1 cents. So basically down below here, and this is going to be the breakout lower than 23 cents. So we can increase our position size once the 23 cents breaks to the downside. First take profit would be smart in that area. From there I expect a bounce as well. But the target of the bigger head and shoulders formatation, we can also say, if we don't count this here as a left shoulder, if we count this here as a left shoulder, then we have another head and shoulders formatation which can break to the downside even earlier before the 23 cents. I would still wait for the 23 cents because this is an horizontal trend line. Horizontal trend lines are far more safer to trade. Target 20.5 cents, where we also have a fair value gap. And we have also said about HBAR that once we get into the 25.5 cents to 25.8 cents and we just wicked into the lower part right here of our target, from there we should sell off. In my opinion, this is just my speculation, 17 cents for HBAR. We don't have any kind of evidence. With evidence, I mean chart pattern targets. We have targets once we break to the downside. They are reaching prices down to 20.5 cents, but from here we can actually develop a rising wedge, for example, which is another bearish chart pattern. And once we break it to the downside, then we can measure new targets, which should probably get us into the area around about 17 cents. Yeah, it can be lower, it can be a bit more up, but we will see that in a few days and a few weeks once we develop some chart patterns. So with that said, we are currently in short positions for HBAR since a while. And since we also broke here to the downside, we increase our position size a little bit for HBAR more for this whole down movement. If we now look over Dogecoin, then we can say for Dogecoin, yes, we have already predicted it 27 cents. Once they break to the downside, 26 cents. This happened pretty good and fast. What we have also said about Dogecoin was, when we were right here, that Dogecoin might be one of the only coins with Ethereum and Tau which are going to see a slightly higher high, which is going to be the retest. Why that? Because the other coins already went and filled those fair value gaps. Dogecoin, Ethereum and Tau didn't do it, but they did it afterwards. Why the other coins, yeah, you can see it here, the other coins were somewhere here still, and Dogecoin made this kind of movement. So this is what I've said also in the community post. So community posts are very important on YouTube, in my opinion, to keep you updated without any kind of videos and very fast. So once the 26 cents breaks to the downside, target 23.6 cents. With maybe a small stop at 24 cents. What do I mean with that? A small stop means we break here to the downside. Then we get to 24.3 cents. We get a small stop in its down movement, get a small bounce, sell off into 23.6 cents. Once the 23.6 cents breaks to the downside, then I think 21.1 cents is going to get in play, because this here can also be a huge H pattern. Keep that in mind. Afterwards, we can sell off even far more if we get more bearish chart patterns. Yeah, this is not bullish. This price movement, this is an H pattern, which we broke to the downside. This here is an H pattern, which we broke to the downside. This right here doesn't look to an H pattern anymore. But if we look at from the bigger perspective, this is a bigger H pattern. So keep that in mind. The coins are not looking bullish at all. So with that said, we see each other in the Render, Tau, Kaspa and ONDO update.